Welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again. We're still in the polity, and it's still the week in review. And today we'll be talking about the President Tinubu's executive order. But we're not restricted to that topic alone. We'll be going back and forth about the Kogi State election and, of course, President Tinubu's executive order. And with me in the studio this afternoon, to my left is Atiku Abubakar, a public analyst. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and to my right is equally not a new face, Habib, Gajo, a public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us on the program this afternoon.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you once again. How has the Salah break been? I'm not sure I've seen either of you since the Salah.
Baraka de Salah.
Yeah, Baraka de Salah.
I've already brought
Salah ram.
Whether ram, whether good.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of today, and I would like to start with Atiku Abubakar. Let's talk about the back and forth going with gubernatorial election for Kogi State. Looks like there's been lots of insecurities. Yes, it looks like during elections, we've had cases of insecurities during, not pre-election. Do you get? So now, I'd like you to shed more light as to what is going on and what is your own take on this particular case.
Yes, first of all, let me commend the National Security Advisor, the Director General of the Department of State Services, and the Inspector General of Police. To the best of my knowledge, these men are men of integrity. They have changed the narratives. In the past, during the last administration, the governor and some political leaders could have see how they make them to change position by beginning to arrest innocent people and pressing charges on them. But we have very credible information that the governor is not having his way. And that's why he is pained and he's in a state of confusion. That is making us to be happy, because all the things happening in the state is as a result of the November 11 governorship election, which I have stated several times. The governor, the APC candidate, is an errand boy and a cousin to the governor of Kogi State, Habib. And that's why you do not hear the APC candidate speaking. It is the governor speaking and campaigning for the APC candidate, because according to me, the APC candidate does not have what it takes to head the cleaning department of my own company, not to talk about being the governor of a state. And the APC governorship candidate was the Auditor General for local governments, which was used to siphon Kogi State local government funds, whereby depriving our people of the stipends that is to be paid to them as salary. That's why it is the same person that supervised the payment of 2,500, 1,700 as salary for staff of local government. The records are clear everywhere. He has brought, you see, when we agitate for good governance, some persons mistake that because I am an Igala man from Ida local government of Kogi State, that we are supporting an Igala candidate. No. We are not. What we are doing is, we are not against the Igalas. If he had brought out pharmacist Asuku, who is from the same local government as the governor, we wouldn't have been saying all of these things, because pharmacist Asuku is a learned person, an intelligent man. But you cannot bring a daft because you want him to be your errand boy as governor. You see, when you see that guy, it is insulting that that guy is contesting governorship of our dear state, a state where you have intellectuals. You see somebody, once he's talking with the governor, he's on the ground. Even if you are talking with your father, you don't kneel down several times. You can't continue to kneel down while talking with the governor. Of course, you respect the governor. You respect your parents. But it does not mean that at any point in time, when you want to talk to him, once you have gated him, while talking, you cannot continue to be kneeling down. That's the thing he does, because the guy lacks exposure. He has not been to anywhere before. Yahya feels that because President Muhammadu Buhari gave him the opportunity to do whatever he wanted, they brought helicopter to Kogi State during the last election. They were shooting from the air, from the sky, and
do you have things to actually back up all of
this? We have the videos everywhere. It's everywhere. You can even go where you see it. Senator Dino sent it everywhere, so it is even in the public space. They were shooting from the sky, And then the police escorted thugs while they were shooting on the ground. They did that without shame and without fear of God. They killed our sister, burnt her alive. She was shouting while she was rushing outside from the fire which they have put in the house. They pointed gun at her. She ran back and she died in that inferno. So now, he was able to do that because of the weakness of the former president and the security architecture of the last administration. But he's finding it difficult now because we have men of integrity who are saying no, and that's why we can talk now. That's the democracy we are enjoying, and that's the reason why we have been speaking and we have not been kidnapped, because the office of the National Security Advisor, the office of the Director General of the Department of State Services, they are at alert. They are interested in defending this democracy, and that's why I have called several times that the next national honor, if the National Security Advisor and the Director General of the Department of State Services are not awarded with the second highest honor, we would protest and call that honor as a charade and an irresponsible honor that should not stand in this country. Because you cannot continue to honor people who have baggages and then leave honorable men. That we will not agree. We will continue to ensure that the right thing is done, because this country belongs to all of us.
Yes,
yes,
no, absolutely. I like your own angle. Now, let's take it from another angle. Now, let's take it from Kogi to Ogun State, there where they've, over the week, they've elected a new commissioner of police, and he has come out to say this, Kogi's, Ogun State, rather, will not be home for cultists or anybody that is ready to pose as a security threat to that state. What is your own take about that, given that Ogun State, for the Southwest, equally has one of the highest number of cultists and ritual killings and all of that for the Southwest?
Yeah, first of all, the cult started in Ogun State.
Okay.
Well, later it moves to Lagos, around Ikeja, Maryland.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So until when the operative of SAS, then they disbanded SAS. Now I think it's Fashola that flushed them out, and they now went back to Ogun State, where you have all these cultists taking panties, underwears of small girls, and went and do their rituals in order to get money, and also to harass and kill, take blood, burst blood, in order to, they believe that they will make money through
most of the things.
Yes, they don't know making money is a hard work. You must work to earn money. You must buy and sell before you get a profit. That's how money comes. So I think the new governor of Ogun State, he has a lot of work to do. There is some news from other quarters that the politicians and the cult, they use themselves together.
There's a synergy between them.
There is a synergy. Some of them armed, the politicians arm them, and
for their own purpose.
Yes, they will use them for election. After election, and nobody will collect the arms. Most of them, they're not like Beretta guns and so on, locally made guns. That's, even if police arrest them, that's what they are going to display with machete and cutlasses. So Lagos, Ogun, and Osun State, the governors need to come together and work and bring peace in that state, more especially in the tertiary institutions.
Yeah.
That's where the whole problem is.
Okay, you read what he said. It feels like he just coined out part of what you said, that, oh, the governor is still part of those people that are actually using most of these people to actually disturb the state. But then at the end of the day, don't we have like higher powers, like you mentioned, the NSA, the State Security Service, to actually curb all of this, given that the election is even close? And I feel like, as INEC not learned from what happened with the February 25th and March 18th elections?
The INEC does not have power to give orders to the security agencies. Why all of these atrocities have continued is because there was no political will, and there were no people of integrity in the position of in the security circle.
Okay.
In the last administration, just like President Tinubu has proven by leaving the Director General of Department of State Services in office, he was the only honest security man among all of them.
Yes.
He was the only. So President Tinubu is a man who means well for the country. You have other honorable men who are heading other security agencies now, and you have a respected personality as the National Security Advisor. All those who left office, in my opinion, needs to be investigated, because when you accept gift or bribe from a governor, you turn your eye away from the atrocities of the governor. These governors give arm to these thugs, and then after election, they don't recover all the arms back from these thugs. So that is why we continue to have insecurity. And another major thing which the president needs to do something very quickly is that when you refuse to pay workers their salary, it is a fact that any man who cannot feed his family will not have total control over members of the family. And when you refuse to pay salaries to workers, then the head of the families will not be able to take care of their families. And as such, the children will be left to scavenge for food and other things. Then you cannot control. So by implication, the governors are promoting immorality in the country. By not paying salary, and sometimes not paying as at when due. Salaries are to be paid, and certain things, paying salary and constructing roads, just like some persons begin to hail the former governor of Rivers State, Wike. According to me, he didn't do anything. There was nothing Wike did. It is not about constructing road. Let me tell you, anybody can construct road. I even challenge some persons that I am not a medical doctor, but I will do better than most of the CMDs, because I will take advice from the professionals. So you can get advice from the professionals, think over it and do what. See, in constructing road and buildings, that one is nothing. It is for you to be able to change the perception of people, allow them to be able to think very well. You, as a leader, you should be able to give direction to the people, so that we don't have people who will go and remove rail track. I don't think somebody is normal. Rail track you are removing. If you put phone booth for public to use, they will steal it. Are these people normal people? As a leader, you should be able to change people. Doing that is what is leadership.
But you cannot totally blame the leaders, because let's take it from even our own public analysis. Let's shift it back to the cash policy strap back then. Of course, the CBN disbursed enough money for it to, of course, circulate around and all of that. But then it got to a point. To who? Disbursed to the banks. But then I like the fact that you mentioned disbursed to who. Yes. Disbursed to the bank. But then we have to take it that it was not the politicians that were in charge of the bank. It was the bankers that refused to disburse this said money back to the public, but then they hoarded. So now, if you are going to take the blame, are we going to blame the governors for this said?
We are blaming the governors and the then president. Let me tell you why. When you democratize corruption, it will continue from, you see, when people know, if you are a leader, if you divert 1 billion naira, I can assure you, because I've worked with governors, that others at least would divert 500 million. From commissioners, SAs, all of them would divert. So when people know that you are a corrupt leader, they know that corruption is the order of the day. So they know this then CBN governor had diverted so much money. So he doesn't have the moral right to be able to punish the banks. because he's not clean. You need to come out clean first. And that's so because they knew that they were dealing with a very corrupt leader as the CBN governor, so they also have to follow suit. It was a directive given to them, but not in writing, that this is what we are doing. This government is all about corruption. You need to steal enough to be able to take care of yourself, because the government will not do anything for you. Your salaries will not be paid. Okay. Nothing will be done for you. So you need to steal to maintain. The only person that will not steal is the person who has the fear of God, who believes in eternity. If you don't believe in eternity, this country, the government is making sure that you steal.
Okay, I'd like to revert back to you. Do you agree with what he said right now?
Yeah, I agree with some of his
ideologies.
Yes, but I disagree with the National Security Advisor.
Okay.
This is a man that have not gone through the rigorous security operations. He was DSP, ASP to DSP, then he was CSP when the idea of EFCC came, and they rushed and made him Assistant Commissioner of Police. They said Assistant Commissioner of Police is also a Commissioner of Police against the rule. You understand? So when he was there, we have seen how the government of Obasanjo used him against political passive enemies and also political oppositions. You understand? So so many things happen. It's not a rocket science. It's something that we can put it together. Shinkafi followed all the positions up to DC before he became NSA. Gambo Jimeta also did the same, I think, up to the level of Ijineco before he became Inspector General and the NSA. There is another civilian that even took the office without going through because of his integrity. I forgot his name. When I remember, I will tell you. So there is so many civilians that did. You understand? But when Obasanjo came and brought Abdullahi from Kwara State, General Abdullahi retired. You understand? That's how things start changing. You understand? So for a national security advisor to be a partisan politician, because when Eradua sent him to NIPS Kuru to go and study, I don't know whether he has completed it, but he joined ACN. Okay. After ACN, he come back to PDP, from PDP to ACN, from ACP to, you understand? And he has never won election. So this kind of person you brought as a national security advisor, definitely he will swing his own way, trying to suit political thugs like Yahya Bello in Kogi State, like Hope Ozodima in Imo State, and which state again? Definitely you will see rough hand, and nobody you will hold responsible. So another thing, the formation of the Tinubu's small advisors, because they are not cabinet, small advisors, coming through the back door. The president said we have suspended tax of food.
I was just going to get into that. You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
Okay, so let me allow you.
No, you can continue. You can continue.
You understand?
Yes.
First of all, they came with Naira FX rate.
Right, yeah.
Yes, with 665, which all of us knew is a lie. You understand? How can you float your own currency? Floating is devalue. When you devalue your currency, people will come and rush and kill your economy. You understand? So, World Bank praised the government for killing Naira. You understand? What they call him? Bank of America supported killing of Naira.
Naira, yeah.
You understand? Now, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, all of them now went back to England and America, fold their hand, while our Naira is crashing. To whose benefit? So, who are the advisors that is giving this dangerous advice? You understand? You can't suspend. How can you suspend tax? And you said you want to merge tax. If you want to merge tax, you come with a framework, you understand, form of taxation. Because in Nigeria, it's only in Nigeria we are paying multiple taxation. You don't even know how much you have been taxed.
Tax you have been paid.
You understand?
Well, sorry to cut you short. So let's quickly take it back to, it's still on these tax issues, to what Bank had said this morning. They said Tinubu suspends Finance Act, holds 5% excise tax on telecoms. And then the story on the president committed to reviewing complaints about multiple taxes. That's coming from Dele Alaki. And our aim is to increase productive activities, not taxing poverty. So that means they are actually aware that the state of the economy right now is not improving, rather it's deteriorating. And then NECA cited asks for more. I'll relieve Nigeria businesses of undue burden. That's coming from Nasima. Now, financial analysts appraise spillover impact. Are we looking at the same thing that happened with what's it called, the oil, the fraud remover subsidy, the subsidy remover rather? Now, when that happened, everybody was cheering in and say, oh, it was a good thing. We don't even know where the subsidy remover money had been going to before. Now, let's take this. Yesterday, the electricity, discos came out to say they are going to increase tariff, but it looks like it's going to be a gradual process. Now, let's take it to the president's executive orders. Are these actually impacting or moving the country forward, or actually deteriorating the economy?
How can a president use executive order on the life of a country that's economy? Let me tell you something. In United States of America, they subsidize energy 50 billion US dollars a month. And do you know how they do it? They have crude. Every day they will pump 1 million barrels and support the energy sector. Now, just look at government revenue in the United States of America has fallen to 200 and something thousand jobs. You understand? But the private sector has risen to 484,000. You understand? So tell me, which one is more productive, which one is more collateral damage? So definitely in France, Tinubu went to France. He was there seated. Macron told the whole world that I subsidize energy 20 billion euros a year. The German prime minister, you know, they have German has almost everything, including what they call atomic energy. You understand? So to power it, their own is less, 8 to 9 billion euros. You understand? And Tinubu was seated, and they said remove subsidy, while they support subsidy. So how are we going to generate? Now, how can a farmer go to farm in this kind of situation to farm? There is no security, there is no fuel, there is no electricity, there is nothing he can do. Tell me, the manufacturers who started celebrating because of 5%, they now went back and said, this is a trouble. Telecommunication, 5% in 1 month. Messi, what is 1 month? What the president called order. You understand?
Executive.
Order of what? Do you know how much Nigerian telecommunication is bringing? Is adding to the revenue? Almost $146 billion. Go and check. Google it. You will see. What of our agriculture? Dead. And somebody is telling us that presidential order. Who is the president self took less of his order? Yeah?
Do you agree with this, Atiku Abubakar?
I want to take exception to what he has said. The president remains the most respected person in the country, and you cannot come to blame a president who has taken over, who is in office now for less than 2 months. What then will you say about the man who spent 8 years without putting all of this thing, without solving one problem? I ask you, tell me one problem that President Buhari solved.
Nothing.
Okay. Since you have agreed, all the problems now.
No, yes, he is following footsteps of Buhari, and wait and see. From these small orders that you are seeing, without the constitution.
But the finance order is a good one because it has deferred to September 1st before the implementation.
Yeah.
So that is a good one. I don't think the president.
But do you actually think the president should actually be giving us orders before and right now? Because, okay, given the fuel subsidy removal, it wasn't supposed to be implemented till July 1st. And as of June 1st, some people are still buying fuel as of now, 750 naira per litre.
Yes.
Coming from Lagos. And now, the president gave the order May 29th. It was supposed to be implemented July 1st. But then it started immediately, people started ordering fuel. So don't you think the president should have learnt from that particular one to say, oh, let me not tell these people. Let's say 3 days before then, you can give your executive order and say, this is how I want it done. I want multiple taxations removed, and I want it with immediate effect starting from 2 days' time.
But I don't think what the president has done is wrong. Even in the case of the removal of fuel subsidy, that can be investigated. And those found to have done anything wrong should be sued to court. So that I don't think the president has started very well, because he has met a country that nothing was actually working. It was a country that people were doing whatever they wanted, looting and all sorts of things. So if you come and meet a country like that, it is difficult for you to change things within 2-3 months. So all we are asking people is for patience and prayers for the president, because he has started well. But let me take us back to the issue of Ribadu, because that is the aspect I completely disagree. Anybody who has risen to the level of Commissioner of Police or Assistant Inspector General of Police has acquired enough knowledge to be able to hold the office of National Security Advisor, especially after leaving office for a long period of time. And being a politician or being involved in political activities does not affect your performance in office. Those who have not been involved in politics are the worst set of people. The last National Security Advisor was a disaster. Before him, it was a great disaster. These are men who, by the order which they rose to their position, they followed all the steps. But they were the worst in the country because of insincerity and because of corruption. So what we are saying, and what nobody can debate, is that Ribadu remains one of the most transparent, one of the most corrupt-free man in the security sector in this country. Because if you say that Ribadu was probing people who are political enemies of the former president, what I ask is that those people, were they corrupt? What they were charging them for, did they commit such offense? That's one. And also, Ribadu left office without any stain. Because what happened, I always refer people to the book written by Malam Nasir El-Rufai, the accidental public servant, where he stated very clearly what happened between Ribadu and the late President Omar Musa Yar'Adua. So it was a political disagreement. It was not as a result of corruption. Ribadu remains the only EFCC chairman that left office without any stain. All mention it, Bawa, Magu, Farida, all of them left unceremoniously. Ribadu case was different. So what we are saying, we know already, especially those of, I am from Kogi State. If it were to be in the lifetime of the former NSA, the former Inspector General of Police and the rest heads of security agencies, I know they would have charged me with several things that I will not be able to defend myself. Now I have from credible information that the government has been running up to them, but they're not answering him. So with that, if you have men of honor who do not accept bribe, the former ones they are very wealthy. How do they make the monies which they have? Let them be investigated. So now what we are saying, Ribadu's pedigree alone is enough to stop certain things. Okay. Whether he was he was promoted from ASP or whatever to so, it was because of his competence. If you are competent, of course you can be given double promotion because of your competence and because of the belief that he will be able to do the work. And he did the work very well. Finally, what I want to make, you see, even though I have supported the president with everything he has done, there's why I feel cool is when World Bank was commending the president. I know when World Bank commend you, it means you are not on the right track. When America commend you, they want you to sell your country.
I forget.
So that is the aspect that I am confused now. All right. If they had not praised the president, I would have said the president is on the right track.
All right, that's cool. Thank you very much for that. That was actually quite hilarious. But then, as we round up, please, I'd like you to give us your rounding joke on what you think.
Atiku, we will leave it, time will tell.
Time will tell. That means I would hope to have
again. Everybody will justify them.
Yes. If Ribadu will not fail, okay, I can bet that with my life.
Okay.
Yes. Ribadu, when it comes to Ribadu, I have absolute confidence in his capacity.
Okay, by God's grace, I think in the next 1 month there should be a rematch for this. And let's see what Ribadu has done. Are we up for that?
The way the government is going,
okay,
the direction the government is taking, I don't think 1 month will be enough for them even to constitute a cabinet to run a constitutional government in Nigeria, because there is too much gaps and delays. You understand? Now, the service chiefs has been put in place. The Governor Central Bank who defrauded our new Naira redesign and crash our Naira, and the EFCC chairman who is a young corrupt. I don't even know how to describe him. Okay. You understand? He is the worst EFCC chairman. So he was removed. We want to see all those cases in court. Okay. To be, and people who are protesting and demonstrating about European Union bringing out their own findings
observation.
They did it in which country? I think it's in Ethiopia. You understand? So if a Nigerian chairman cannot review his own election, you understand?
Yes.
Cannot review his own election, and African Union will review the Nigerian election, and you who is seated in Nigeria with all the gadget and the result that is in your abundance, you understand? And you cannot review, and somebody review, and you start saying that they want to set the country on fire.
Okay.
Who told you that after election they set country on fire while kids are in court?
Okay. Yes. All right. So as we round up, I'd like to move to Alhaji Atiku. Sorry to cut you short. We have limited time. As we round up, I'd like you to talk about. I've heard something about people moving, trying to mobilize voters to come outside of Kogi State inside the states. Is there anything going on that we should know in like 60 seconds? Can you actually make this aware to people?
We have Honorable Zakaria Abdullahi from Ida local government, who is into real estate, and he has taken up the task to mobilize people from Abuja, Lagos, Kano, back to Kogi State to see that we take back power from Habib, so that the state can really move forward, because we need to have so many voters back home so as to be able to win this election, and we commend him for that which he has been doing for mobilizing our people back home.
All right, thank you very much for that. All right, our viewers at home, we're sorry we could not continue today with the POLITY. I'm sure there's going to be a rematch. I'd like to call that a rematch in the next 1 month. I'd like to have both guests, of course, to analyze what Bibadu has done. Hope that is a date.
Why nobody call?
That will be next time thing. All right, thank you very much, our viewers at home, for staying with us on the POLITY throughout this week. Without you, there would have been no POLITY. I remain Mercy Babajide. Stay tuned. See you same time, same station next week. Bye.